Hi you guys, I'm back with the second read. I actually just gave you the read I just did. I gave you the wrong picture. All right, so this is the correct picture for this read. This was the correct one. Sorry about that. And the reason why I got them confused is because they both have the exact two same underlying energies. Look. See? They're exactly the same. That never happens. That's crazy. So this is the correct read for the one I'm doing now. And this is the proper picture for the last read I just did. Okay? So this one I'll post on the tag so you will have it. It's just know that the screenshot that was up was this one. So this is the one for now. This is the one from the 28th. This is my Metatron deck, Nature Whispers and Shaman Dreams read from September 28th, which is the 28 of the Twin Flames. The day added up to 43, which is the Three of Cups of coming together. And again, the underlying energies here for the three decks, 1, 2, and 3, the cards the way they came out organically. And then I usually have a pile of cards I need to count at the end. Here's only 3. Sometimes there's none. And again, Metatron, Nature's Whispers, and Shaman Dreams. So here's the message, and there's technical drawing messages. I actually gave you the drawings of the sine. Is it the sine wave? The sine wave that comes up in this read. I gave you that information already, but I'm going to show you that again. So for this one, this was at 8:06 a.m. on the 28th, with the 3 piles being 17, broken up into 3 and 14, with the number 8 and the number 3. So the star dancing with friends, or the Empress. The healing dreaming of the Empress and the patient angel dancing, manifesting dreams, and being strong with the Empress. The underlying energy of the 2 of the High Priestess review, and the 27 of maintaining a childlike spirit. The 22 of the Fool's embrace. The High Priestess Divine Feminine meditating in the purple moon, with time out needed to inspire and be inspired to maintain that childlike spirit on the Fool's journey. In the Fool's embrace, transmuting pain while taking the leap. So at 8:15, which is the Strength card and the Devil, with the 12 of the Hanging Man and Wisdom and Akashic Records to open a book. So I didn't know what I was inspired to open, so I decided to open the first thing I looked at, which was the book that's part of the Tarot of Dreams guidebook, and I don't always use that deck. But I opened it, and TA was coming up, Tarot of Dreams. I opened it to page 53, which is the Knight of Swords, which was the Hebrew letter Tau, which means sign or the seal. What did I write there? Well, anyway, it's the Tau letter, which means seal. The universe bestows its diploma, signed, sealed, and delivered. The card on page 51 and 52 was the card of the world, XX1, 21, of enlightenment, attainment, completion, and at some time, new beginning. Seeing things as they really are. Something that seemed silly is now profound. Being inured to life's inequities. Dancing on your limitations. The world is all-encompassing, so no longer needing symbols. You just see it as it is. The Fool, the world, now just different. Going from the Fool's journey, right, to the world, which is the end of the Fool's journey. It's just now different in some way in our everyday world, except you're back to the same. Before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, you do the same. The 0 of nothing and limitless possibility came up here. The underlying energy, again, of that 12 of wisdom and opening a book. And the 9 of the Hermit to take action, movement needed. Running with the big birds, where I sneezed ×2. The shadow, and then the 50 of the little bird with tree, signs, and synchronicities. Again, the little bird and big bird, which the big bird is the human. The little bird with tree, signs, and synchronicities, the talking tree. From spirit with love, the 7 of the chariot water, the dolphins, the Icosa for emotional well-being, the bird dolphin, and the 28 twin flames, that double diamond with M, untying karmic knots, electromagnetic field, that you deserve love in the do-si-do of the field of possibilities in the outer realms. The divine masculine and the dolphin, sonar, divine feminine. So the bird intellect is coming up as the divine masculine and the dolphin sonar of the divine feminine. The book and the flame of Lady Liberty. The 40 of the Page of Cups came up, of the sweetheart, so there it is. Birthing the new, the twins with baby, the King of Wands in duality, due to leaving baby. The 23 of the King of Wands where balance is needed, and the 13 of the bird transitioning to fly free for a bit, as the 45 is endings. Each when the sun sets, you are held in compassion. The 21 of the indigo, aligned with their star, the enlightened one. The 39 of the emerald green, and the 10 of the new dawn. The 26 of the pink phased array, the emerald father, Knight of Cups. The high vibe new lord, with 2 U's destined. Welcome back in the crossing of rays. The Knight of Cups sweetheart, the emerald sun, and with the pink of the 26 Page of Wands, Lion's Heart womb, where the Lord of 2 U's weaves together the emerald and the rose. The Knight of Cups JC, which the letters JC become the toroidal field interrupted, and the scalped Mary Magdalene, the Trinity, at 8:41, the dance of the Holy Grail of love. The sweetheart and the lion's heart, the emerald city by following the yellow brick road, the golden path of 2 hearts beating as one, the lion with the key to the city, and the tin man in search of his heart, the lion with the key to that, and the scarecrow guide to teach you how to lose your brain and find a new one at 8:44. Once in Emerald City, the divine masculine's heart, after guidance and courage, the tin man gets a heart, turning Emerald City to violet rays of castle on a cloud at 0 point enlightenment with sine wave trail, the Queen's wave, so long, lingering along with Carol Burnett. It's so nice. So after my mother passed, that was a message I'd gotten from her also, was the tag song of Carol Burnett. I'm so glad we've had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say, so long, everybody. So the Queen's wave, the Queen's coming in to say that as well. At 8:46, the dance, and Spirit's connecting with me, the dance of the 46 of the inner children, and the Knight of Wands passion of the Knight of Wands, of the inner children and the love for life, the quick liquid silver cord of the warriors of light, in the 30 of union, the sword and the stone, the word and the tone, after separation. Now the stone can roll with heads, as the Queen of Hearts says, off with their heads, no false crown zone, chopping down the head of the beast, the ego down to size. Without reptilian brain, the scarecrow is now free to reign. Sovereign God free, according to Ascension Glossary. Ascension Plan B, according to Lisa Renee. 4 planetary rounds equals 1 planetary cycle equals 1 astrological age equals an eon equals 26,000 years, 26,566 to be exact, equals the precession of Earth's axis of rotation with respect to the inertial space. At end of every cycle, we become aligned to the galactic core, the Stargate portals open and eligible to proceed with Ascension's timeline. The Crystal Star Guardians and the Aurora teams building the Crystal Star architecture for planet Earth. So this changes the coordinates of your birth blueprint and its genetic imprint on the flesh. In 3D, we accepted the miasmic package attached to this planet, the negative forms, the shadow, quote unquote, the phantom sun bodies. So what connects us to 9/11 timelines, Armageddon software, and the negative alien agenda, or the NAA. The quote-unquote God spark connects to the core manifestation body, the 12-tree grid, and again, this is from Ascension Glossary, which projects out the quote-unquote 3 layers of ego, the root, the sacral, the solar plexus. The work of ES, which is energetic synthesis community, is laying the template of the law of one, LOO. The precession of the equinox, which again referencing the horse, one astrological age of 25,765 years equals a great Platonic year. The equinox recesses over a full 360 degrees from Pisces to Aquarius in gravitational forces between the sun and the moon and the earth. The GG is the Golden Gate, the circuit path made around the galactic equator, the gate of the gods. The Orion constellation sits in opposite direction, the anti-galactic center, the gate of man, or the silver gate. Ophiuchus and Orion are the mirror images of opposing polarity. Together represent the ascending gate of man, the god of gods, to reach the magnum opus, as I've been talking about October opus a lot this week, through the procession as man in ecliptic path of the gate of man to evolution intersecting with the galactic center. So again, that was from Ascension Glossary, with a little bit of my input there too. So at 914 is the Hermit and 14 of the Temperance card. Once we unify conscious experiences through the gate of man, and again, this is again Ascension Glossary, intersecting with the galactic equator and Ophiuchus's feet, we give you access to the Golden Gate. Reunion with Cosmic Holy Spirit from our solar system, the galactic center lives visually along a line that passes through the Golden Gate. God to eternal life, which pours an elixir that opens at the end of the precession cycles, where 2 great celestial spheres intersect together that create 4 quadrants. And I believe last year, the year before, I got a picture in the sky of the spheres in the sky. It was amazing. The first great circuit is the path of the sun through the zodiac in the annual cycle. Another is the circle path from the center of the Milky Way galaxy, the galactic equator, and the intersection point between 2 circuits and between Taurus and Gemini, the Silver Gate. The intersection point of the 2 circuits between Scorpio and Sag, and right at Ophiuchus's right foot, is known as the Golden Gate. And again, in the 12 sign or the 13 sign astrological chart, Ophiuchus is November 30th to December 17th, and Scorpio is only a week prior to that. So between Hercules, so here's where my picture came in. Between Hercules, with Ophiuchus beneath Hercules, under their protection, with Gemini and Orion, is Draco, and then the Ursa Major and Minor are right there, and Cepheus, and the Lynx. And then my picture came up that I showed you before, which is that, here is that, you can take a snapshot of that too. Sorry, I can't get that. Let me pull this up a little. Maybe I can get that all the way in. All right, so there is the picture of the sine wave, where you have the Silver Gate over here with Orion, the boy, and the girl, Ophiuchus here, who's connected with Hercules. So she's fighting with herself over here. He's fighting with the dragon, which is Taurus, over here. Okay, and then you see the swan is right here with the head here at the bottom, and Draco's off to the right there, and off to the left is where Pegasus gets into the swan. The feminine has direct connect through the head there, through Hercules and her harvest. And you see the sine wave is all of the signs from Leo to Cancer, with Aquarius right at the galactic center there. Or actually the galactic center is over here, but you see it's at the center of this sine wave right here. Okay, and then what I wrote below. So what I wrote below there is, he keeps the twins safe away from his dragon self, as she is direct connect to the swan's head through Hercules, her harvest. as he must go through Andromeda-Pegasus combo to come into the Swan from the left wing, as Draco has access to the right. The Pleiades is at the end of his dragon tail, with the 7 sisters and all, referencing the Pleiades. Okay, so here we have this, and the symbol of Ophiuchus as well is the U with the sine wave through it. So it was very appropriate that this drawing was coming up. Sorry, that was just somebody selling something. The silver gate is Orion and Atlas, the map of the human divine masculine. Ophiuchus, the divine feminine, is the golden gate, where he is Atlas fighting the dragon of Taurus himself, and she's Hercules fighting Ophiuchus' self to get to the Swan. And he has to go through Andromeda and Pegasus, though. She has a direct connect to the head of the Swan. He is Orion, Atlas, sword and stone. She, Ophiuchus, Hercules, word and tone. Andromeda and Pegasus reaches out to the Swan, with Draco on the other side, the tail to Hercules and their back foot, and the crown points to Cepheus, King Cepheus, who's married to Cassiopeia. Remember, she's the one with the ego and the daughter, Andromeda, who was saved by Perseus. But there's also now this little lizard there on the platform, which sometimes is known as Little Cassiopeia because of the W in the constellation. However, it also comes up in my read as the little lizard on their platform. And they don't have a real myth behind them. That is the... I have to look back at that page in a minute. So, Ophiuchus to the Swan's head, which looks like the tail, but it's actually the head. And Pegasus to the left arm. Draco versus the right, and then Cepheus is king of the hill, at the butt, actually. The silver man gate to the golden gate, as she takes him there. The 25 of the Knight of Wands with the sword to union, 30. The 3 of creation, expansion, and the collective awakenings. The Knight of Wands home with the Empress. The 20 of the cosmos that mirrors you, the dodeca. And the 32 of the journey from id to I divine, from instant messaging to I am, to the 43 of coming together to heal and pause to receive, and the 22 of the Fool on the Fool's journey with an open heart and a leap of faith, Archangel Sandalphon, who's with you now, Saint Dolphin. And I was getting Teddy that day. And the 35 of the Kundalini, the wounded warrior, rising to burn off the root, sacral solar ego. At 10:55, which is that high vibe and the truth. To burn off the root, sacral, and solar ego from those chakra centers, which is funny because then I was getting Liz and Nate, and Liz was just coming up with the lizard, and Nate is always my Nat coming in, unforgettable energy. So in a wake-up call here, to clear and burn off the ego, the 11 of alignment to listen and take note, to the 51 of the King of Swords, of white and purity and innocence, calling Mother Earth for grounding support, the 18. Gold to the core, or cold to the core, the daughter's womb heart. The core of the earth is the daughter, the womb, and the heart, who needs to thaw. The 31 of light and dark transformation into the shadow pack to store for later. The 47 of the 7 of Cups and synchronicities with Thanksgiving every day. The synchronicities of 4 to 7, the heart to the crown, the blessings and thanks of the 54 Page of Swords, Mercury. The 4 to 7 with the 4 to 7 synchronicities, and leaving the breadcrumbs behind. The Epiphanies and the Castle and Cloud 9 0-point field with sine wave trail or breadcrumbs, and the emerald and violet to magenta right there. At 1106, the alignment of the lovers. The underlying energy of the 23 of the King of Wands here, and the 13 of transition with new baby, or to his sweetheart, the 29 of the 3 of Wands, present to gifts of the butterfly, the lion's heart, and contemplation of the 22 leap of faith on the high wire and invisible net. With intent, wand in hand. The 41 of be in service to the vulnerable, the mermaid and Pegasus. The 35 of the wounded warrior, culmination of their vision in the fall, and the 37 of the King of Cups and the ideal course of action of unconditional love. To see both polarities and then come to the middle of the wounded warrior and the King of Cups, unconditional love, and then the dance of those two, the 8 of the breakthrough, dance of the butterflies, the diving heart first into the ocean, into the rough waves, unafraid. The 27 of the Ace of Wands, to be inspired to maintain your childlike spirit, to swing, which is the S wing, the 2 U's, sing, all winter long, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. At 1127 of alignment and passion, of inspiration, the 49 is the first card there of heightening your vitality. And you see her there in the robe there, that's that card right here. Heighten your vitality through self-love and being natural, allowing your colors to shine through. The 2 of illumination, the King of Cups, dance of passion, to find self-satisfaction and get your wish, be happy with oneself. With the Divine Feminine High Priestess illumination as the butterfly and their butterfly guide, set off to the moon, or romance. And I was just getting Ralph Cramden saying, you know, to the moon, Alice. 28 is the twin flame, bountiful harvest, settling or setting the planetary stage. The 9 of the Hermit and the perfect setting, the Hermit's picture of 5D and 3D preparations, or the mother blanketing the etheric realms and the daughter color by number, or painting the sun rising, each getting ready, perhaps getting ready for a wedding. With 42, the 2 of Cups, to let love be your beacon, be lighter and blush. Which was really funny, all this was coming up, because literally my daughter has been doing some painting, like you can send in your picture and they'll create a painting for you to do. And she's been doing some of those. And actually they just went to a wedding as well. Getting ready for the ball, or perhaps a wedding, the 18 of new experiences and possibilities, the bouquet of flowers that you are. The healer on a horse in the garden, with butterfly nearby, or on the round table of the Divine Feminine Knights of the Round Table. They're interning to follow in their mother's footsteps in the 0 point field. At 1137 of Justice and the King of Cups, with 8 cards here in the dance of the manifestation, the man I fest at the connection, the 16 of the Sun or inner truths of the inner little girl, and the 25 of the Knight of Wands, to keep your dreams alive, with the blue baby kiss, and the Knight of Wands in sudden passion, energized to fly, to be ship, or fiery lovers healing the root, to flower the crown and then go within, wild and free, at the beach perhaps, hope and happiness amidst flocks and crowds. The 31 again of being spontaneous and reach out. The 10 of high vibe and destiny, open your heart to swan love wrapped around you. The 32 of trusting your own understanding, your vision of how things are supposed to be. At 1146 of Justice and the 46, the inner children and aligned. The 16 to the 32, which came up about the 11 in my short video I did last night, that the 11 is actually 2 8s side by side. It's just the perspective. You're seeing the 8 from the side. You're not seeing the 8. You're only seeing the 1. So it's actually 2 8s dancing side by side. The 46 of the inner children. And then 16 to 32, which is 16 times 2, or 2 towers to get to the journey. The twin towers on the journey of good news, which TT is also pi, or chi. The 2020 of TT, the vision of 2001 and 2019 when COVID hit in the year's number 3, with 2020 clear hindsight and 2 towers, 2 stars, 2 moons of Orion and Ophiuchus, and Mary Ophi was coming up as Jesus Ori, right? So Orion of Jesus and Ophiuchus of Mary. Jesus Ori, and Mary Ophi, the human phi, so phi, the expansion and contraction or reflection in the middle, where Ori for Jesus means slave, to pray, orate, hourly, which is a preacher who preaches on. Where she's coming up is the OPHI of snakes, Ophio, where Ophis is snake, Ophiuchus is the serpent handler, and brittle star was coming up here as well. The human reflecting 3 us, the informant us, where cus in Ophiuchus, CHUS, means more, very excess. The snake or serpent's excess, where Hydra had spilled over into Ophiuchus to be handled. Orion is the preacher on hourly or simple connection, handles the masses, where Ophiuchus is the third-party handler of Hydra and Draco. She wakes the Kundalini, and he handles the awakened masses. Very interesting the way that came up. So at 12:07, the Hanging Man and the Chariot, the underlying energy of the 21. And then I was getting, when all the world's asleep, the question runs so deep for such a simple man. First breathe the beginner's mind, one step at a time. The 64 of the 10 of Swords and the Woodwives that are more adaptable to the extremes of bliss and pain. The 54 of the Page of Swords, Mercury, initiating the crossing on half of the tree, used for the bridge as the man laying down his coat, from 4 to 7, the heart to the crown. The sky bridge with possibilities for union. The twin towers being reconnected, heart to crown. First, the 18 with eyes of the eagle oracle at their 0 point post. With better than 2020 vision in 2018, 1818 was a treaty between US and the UK, dividing at the 49th parallel with US and Canada. The 24 of the Queen of Wands, galactic mushroom. The divine matrix, the 2 vine mother tricks. And the message of Gemini, Cancer, or the twin moons, the satellites that orbit the planet. Damn it, Janet. And then Brad was coming up too from Rocky Horror Picture Show. The projector, as Earth is the screen, the dark side of the moon, the wizard behind the curtain. Never seen the core. So the dark side of the moon is coming up as the wizard behind the curtain that you couldn't see, was never seen. The core, the womb heart daughter who projects herself back on you, mother, showing the earth through human inhabitants, how she projects, reflected by daughter, the Holy Grail back to her in her loving eyes. And then the cerebellum was coming up that fine-tunes like a radio channel, the coordinator of language, fear, and pleasure responses. And pons was coming up as the bridge, the part of the brainstem of the brain, the cerebellum and the medulla connections. And posteriorly, it consists mainly of 2 pairs of thick stalks, as we were just talking about stems. The cerebellar peduncles. The letters were running into each other. I couldn't remember how to say it. The peduncles. The I was getting that. So from cerebellum, CERE means wax, which is coming up though as the waxing of the moon, to request for, the build-up, to ask for. It also means couscous, by the way. But the build-up of the bell, the waxing, the Bella up to their old tricks again here. So 1239 is the Hanged Man and the 39 of the Knight of Cups, the 30 of the Home and the Horseman heralding in the changes, like the 6 of Wands, the 32, and the 22 of the Fool's Embrace, the M, capital M brace, the co-creation brace, the transmuting of pain, the fool's journey to co-create as the capital I M's, to the B of transition, the Ray seal, co-creating of the current year, the Ace 1, to co-create brace, arm, cord, or rod, or brother ace, the state of being, braced or tight, tension or warlike preparations, or their under armor, their underwear. So the brother acing this. A curved pointed line or curly bracket, a pair, a couple, a mouth or shaft, two goals by one player, to bind, fasten, embers, perch, suspenders, the peninsula. So M brace, to co-create as enlightened beings, paired, bound, hand fasting. And then the number 22722 came up, which there was lots of translations around that. It's so 22722 kilometers equals 14,119 miles, and so on. You can look that up if you want. But what's interesting, 22722 seconds equals 6 hours, 18 minutes, and 42 seconds, which is the lovers at 0 point on the whispering bench, the 42 of the Two of Cups. Or the minutes to hours was 2 weeks, 1 day, 18 hours, 42 minutes, or 15 days, 18 hours, and 42 minutes. So the 2 weeks of the Divine Feminine High Priestess and the 1 day of the Masculine at 0 point with 18 hours, and on the whispering bench 42 minutes. So it was really cool the way it came up. The binary number for that was 1011 00011 4010. And by the way, 22722 times 2 is 45,444, so the purging of the angelic realms. And then 22722 times 4 equals 90,888, where 90 is source backing up, the 9 of endings and compassion, and then the triple eights of the twin flames coming together. Times 3 it equals 68,166, which is the 1 between the 68 of the Page of Pentacles and the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles. Again, the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine into their oneness in the middle. And there again is that energy of the SIS. You are valuable is what came up for 2272. Two fools in the chariot. At 111, the 14 of the Temperance card, and the drifter experiencing life as it comes with patience and balance. At 114, the 59 of the Wailing Tree, reconciliations, journeying, the journeyman, the patient angel, and the war within. The 41 of the Moon Maiden and their new love, reflecting the drifter, Dr. Ifter. She committed to supporting the moon by lessening gravity of it underwater. So going into her emotions to become one and very calm and compassionate. The 23 of the King of Wands, Fortune's wheel of luck and right timing, in the Two of Cups connection with Netcaster, whose preparations have now come to fruition. The Queen of Wands is inspired by the Fool's embrace, a higher love experiencing life as it comes, but in inner war she plays a supporting role to give him a break. The King of Wands, Two of Cups is coming together in the overflow of overwhelming plenty, of agreeing to come together in an outpouring of joy by being blinded by the sun and falling angel, destined to diving deep into a task, a beautiful dive combo of somersault, cannonball, and swan dive all in one, a high vibe thrill, or Leo falls as Libra dives at flooded Taj Mahal. And then there were 3. At 127, the Magician and the inspiration of the 56 Two of Swords and the wall, the obstacle course, removing the armor, while the 36 Atlas is lost in space needing directions. Danger, Will Robinson, as Dances with Wolves, which was funny because we were just talking about that day, the Wolf Park, when we went there. Danger, Will Robinson, as Dances with Wolves, is now on one foot in the green motor balance, or in the green moth balancing act, holding the earth still with their foot, toe at the crown, and Atlas hand down under, as they jointly hold the earth in its spin, so Atlas can look closer at the details of the map. Welcome to the show within, one holding things up, or in other words, causing delays, and one holding things up, or holding them in place. One with the map of the world, and one hermiting in inner earth. At 135, within the wailing, without the drifting along, from without suffering in silence, or the SIS of the I am, between the two Sophias. From within, can't wait to see the show, knowing the hard work to be done on the outside with Atlas and the Hermit, aka Hercules, her harvest. Meditating, praying, and then leading the way, the Page of Cups gets their wish, expanding life as it comes, or experiencing life as it comes. As the King of Wands gets illumination about the inner war, then transition of the twin flame to the Holy Grail of love and support. Purging the Hermit King of Wands as the Indigo 21 world is as it should be. 42 and 42, 2 of Cups and 2 of Cups, 1 to 1 and 1 to 1. The message of life at the castle of overwhelm of joy and good and plenty. First looking down from the castle with the eagle's eye, before deep diving and landing on one foot, balanced, a perfect landing, stuck it. In suspended animation, a picture paints 1,000 worlds of enlightenment at 152, the Magician and the Queen of Swords. So that was that message here too. I still have some, they weren't 7 deck reads. I believe one of them was. I did a mini SIRIAN deck read and then the 7 deck, and I'll present that separately. But this is that read. So rise and be love. I'll be back in a minute. Bye.